to see my home in Pasadena, home where grass is greener, where honeybees hum melodies.
You were born in Pasadena, California.
I'm gonna be a home sweet homer, and there I'll settle down.
Our life in Glendale, we had a little tiny house, but it was really, that's all we needed. And we lived in LA is different than Chicago in that, like all these little neighborhoods are in Chicago, those are actually like separate cities in LA. LA itself is like relatively small, it doesn't really cover that many neighborhoods. So we were in, they don't really even call them suburbs, but they were, I guess we're a suburb, like adjacent to Pasadena.
Inner City Arts is a learning oasis in the heart of Los Angeles' Skid Row.
Is an art, like, it's an oasis in the middle of South Central Los Angeles, Skid Row area. Everything around it, it's kind of a lot of SRO, single residency occupancy, hotels, a lot of homeless folks, and amongst all that, there was this art center started by Bob Bates, and we would bring kids there from the surrounding schools. They come on a bus, and I would work with a program called Arts for Language and Learning, and that was about teaching with arts at the center. So even though the kids would come for studio programs, we worked with teachers to bring it back to the classrooms. They were doing other kinds of learning related to the arts.
It's a very dynamic place, and it keeps asking for growth. New ideas continue to come forth, and we continue to explore those possibilities.
I can tell that we are gonna be friends. I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
I think that was one of the really great things about Inner City Arts, is it felt like family. And when it was just about time for you to go into kindergarten, we decided it was just about time for you to, for all of us, to move to Chicago. So we wanted you to know your family here in a different way than just, you know, the holidays, once a year kind of thing. Well, since you were only 5, you were excited about it, and they had a surprise going away party for me at Inner City Arts, and they kind of based it on kind of electoral theme. You know, they had all these posters and, you know, Susan for president and blah, blah, blah. And so they had it set up like a campaign, and then they had me stand up at the podium at the end and, you know, say a few words or whatever. And I was too emotional and too stunned to say anything. But you got up there and you said something to the effect of, well, what my mom is trying to say is that we will always love you and we'll keep a little piece of you in our hearts. And then, of course, everybody started bawling. Because we thought, how can this little 5-year-old understand something such a big deal, you know? But you did. You know, it was really my decision, so I kind of carried the whole weight of that, so that was tough. You know, I think that you were old enough to know people like Brandon, remember them, and kind of maintain a relationship with them. So in some ways, maybe that was good. In some ways, maybe that was tougher. You know, if you had been so little you couldn't remember anybody, you'd be like pulling off a Band-Aid. You would never have any connection. But now you've got the connection with Ari through Facebook, and your cousin Juanito and Brandon. So you have like this, you've known them more of your life as a long-distance relationship, excuse me, than you have as a physical hanging out kind of relationship. So that's got to be kind of weird. Yeah, I think that it's taken him a long time to get acclimated, and to find friends for him has been difficult. At ART, it's kind of the flip side. We're always, or they are always in somebody else's territory. So what you really need to do is, what I try to do is instill what was important about the programs in individual artists, so that they would like be ambassadors, if you will, art ambassadors, and take that with them to all these different environments. But every environment that you enter, every class that you enter, you kind of are starting from scratch. That's a real different kind of a challenge than having people, serving people on with the home court advantage, if you will. You know, I did that for 8 years, I think. Then I was laid off. And I was unemployed for about a year and a few months, and then I started working with Chicago Public Schools as an art teacher at Dewey Academy. So I've been there. Yeah, I've been there for the fall 2009 to now it's the summer of 2011. You know, I've had what I would say is kind of premier experience of being the place and the people that kids come to sort of exporting that as an outreach program, and now coming sort of from another aspect, which is I'm at a school site, so I have my own studio set up. You know, I'm in control of that kind of environment, and I can kind of make things work a certain way. But I do see every single kid in the building, well, in 2 buildings. So they're my kids, but they're also like a lot of kids. So it's not like they're just my kids. You know, with your classroom teacher, they're just your kids. So it's another aspect of that. It's been really challenging in a lot of ways because, you know, there's a whole school culture set up, and it's not necessarily the way I would have set things up, and the community is not necessarily the community that I've, you know, I don't live in the community. And so there's a certain kind of set of rules that are already there, and some that I agree with, some that I don't. So it's been a lot of me trying to, you know, round peg, square hole kind of thing, and just trying to find the places that we really meet, you know. And I have to say, that first year was rough. It was really, really rough. Yeah, sometimes I do regret moving. I think what I had at Inner City Arts is very hard to replicate, and I feel really blessed and fortunate that I even had that experience. So I got a call saying, "Here, take a look at this," and they sent me this like 50-page document. It says, "Is this something you want to do?" Of course, I said yes. I'd love to do it, but I'm really having a hard time figuring out how to make that happen.
Is the job still open to you?
Yes.
I'd like to welcome you on board flight 797 this morning on into Los Angeles. Due to snow accumulation overnight, we're going to be proceeding to our de-icing center, have the aircraft cleaned of snow ice that's accumulated.
California with a lake in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers